This One-Up podcast is brought to you by Games for Windows. Welcome to Better PC Gaming. Created with the idea that gaming should deliver more. Games for Windows branded titles bring you all the fun of gaming without all the work. And with the hottest titles around and Windows Vista compatibility, Games for Windows promises to deliver great new gaming experiences every time you play.
All right, here we are, the Rap Battle Finals. As you know, we got hungry MCs tonight. Ralphie, kid named Whiskey Nerd, make it all the way. Here we go. We're going to do this 30 seconds. Ralphie, 30 seconds. Let's hear it. One of the key styles make your messenger cry smileys. Water dry eyes, finish fantasies finally. Fabled knights at the round table, able to fight enemies. Centipede and Pikmin sprayed with raid, that's the scent of me. Devious, Xevious, Sam Serious, and stuffed on Zergags. Winter stays, Silpede the Red Alert, Command and Conquer Fur Days. Mr. Do as I do, and not as Doom does. Bust Goomba's balls, I'm the Zuma Grand Poobah. Okay, time. Whiskey Nerd, it's all you now. Short bus flow, the words fall out. None of us knows what the fuck that's all about. Riddle and riddle. An outcast who shouts fast, tongue-tied tequila worm, killed in a shot glass. Wiimote Waggler, what are you, 8 years old? Rub rabbits is the only tail you've touched, asshole. I heard about your hentai, the closet you hide your toys in, and the cock measuring contest. You lost a little poison, howling no. That's time up. All right, it's still too close to call. This is too close. So here's how it's gonna happen. One more rhyme each. You need to make it count. Ralphie, all you. You lie, and every boy in here knows this. The only poison I fear is your Taco Bell halitosis. Grandma says I better win. Whiskey, what you got? A little poison line was awkward. You lose any word war when your so-called sword looks like old granny hardcores.
Hello, and welcome to GFW Radio Podcast. This is our podcast for June 19th, 2007. We hope this one records, or we're never going to do this again. And goodbye. And no, I'm here with Jeff Green, editor-in-chief of GFW Radio, magazine, also radio.
At least you didn't say CGW.
I'm a multimedia mogul, GFW Radio and magazine. And I'm here with the staff, which are as follows.
Ryan Scott.
Darren Gladstone.
I'm Sean and on and on and on and on and on. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm Sean and on and on.
Me too. Two Sean and on-and-ons. So last week, kind of a big fiasco, huh? That was probably our best podcast ever, and now no one's ever.
It was definitely the best one ever.
2 hours gone for good.
Indubitably destroyed.
Every time something goes wrong this week, let's just keep reminding people they should have really heard last week's.
Or just make up stuff that was in that missing 2 hours.
Right. Oh, we talked about that last week.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was like in the future. We could basically just some week when whatever the stars align in such a way that prevent us from taping, we can just pretend that we lost it again and list every perfect scenario that we could.
We'll just use that from now
possibly have done.
It's a pretty great excuse.
Seriously, Sean, how are we going to make sure that this doesn't happen again this week?
I really don't know.
But it was
well, that's reassuring.
Yeah. What was cool is
I can there are ways. I know exactly what went wrong, so I won't do that again. Basically,
we should really have Ryan taking down like transcription as we talk here. What do you think, Ryan?
What was cool
shouldn't.
Is that the fact the 1 week that we didn't put the podcast up, we got like bigger threads and message boards than we ever had.
I think that should tell us something.
Is that cool?
But no, I mean it could be one of those scenarios where a lot of people were out there that like all the people that posted on our blog entry that I had no idea that they were even .com members or that they listen until we take away what they were used to and then they had something to say. That was cool.
Yeah, true. Of course, then we get the guys who register just to tell us we suck and then never post again. Thanks for joining One Up.
And then you ban them and they register again and again and again.
Welcome
you
back.
You still suck. So I don't know if we're going to cover anything we covered last week, if we're just going to let all that vanish.
Yeah, you can't recapture that magic.
Can't recapture it. It's gone. Gone forever. There's one thing I think we should talk about, though. Probably still is the SimCities.
Oh, yeah.
Societies.
We could do all that.
Cover story.
It's just all the specific tangents, like into Walgreens and Rite Aid. And
No, we can't go.
Oh yeah,
back
we can't
there.
do that. Can't recapture that.
But let me tell you, that was funny stuff, and you all missed it.
I missed it
Hysterical.
too.
Weren't those Walgreens jokes great?
They really were.
That was awesome when we did that.
Chief Pemmican
This
was
is the
involved.
whole podcast, by the way. We're just going to be doing that.
Remember when you said, "Yeah"? Oh, Darren, yeah, you weren't here, were you?
Yeah, that's right. I'm not allowed to say where I was, but in a couple weeks I will
Why
be
can't
able
you
to.
say it? We said it. Oh, but that podcast is gone, so we didn't
see?
say it.
Serendipitous.
Wait, really? You can't say you
Wait,
can't. talk
Everyone
about
knows about it, don't they?
it? Yeah,
Nah,
it's all announced.
No, actually, well, the fact that I was there, it's really weird. They asked that I not say anything about my even being there until.
That's ridiculous.
That's
I know,
That's
I
really
know.
ridiculous, actually.
All right, well,
This
it's a
is a
big-time RPG from a big-time company
exactly.
Take a guess.
located opposite the coast from California, so you figure it out. But
let's narrow
technically, I didn't say it.
it down a little further, shall we?
What the hell? Who cares?
So
All right, let's move on.
So you got some topics to tell us about? Or?
Yeah, we got some topics. Well, like I said, we got the SimCity thing we're going to do because we announced the new SimCity game. We announced it. We saw it before everybody.
Scoop, scoop, scoop.
And the announcement caused a bit of a ruckus online, a hullabaloo, as it were, a brouhaha.
Vamping for time.
Shall I continue?
A little.
No.
It was a little all three. Let's just
What, no, what
agree
the,
to
oh,
that.
you missed the best one. You ever seen Trekkies? A debacle.
Debacle.
Remember the guy?
And it's calmed down a little since then. It's been a couple weeks, so all the initial internet whiners, well, there's still a lot of people whining. A lot of people upset about the direction this game is going in. But it's not quite at the same level of frothiness as it was on the day we posted the one screenshot. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about... we have... do we have a winner to announce of the Command & Conquer 3 book
Yeah.
novel writing contest?
We've narrowed it down to 3 finalists.
We narrowed it down to
Okay.
3 finalists. And I think we can safely say we can give each of them a book, or at least 2 of the 3 a book.
Yeah,
Wow.
boy. Yeah, they win.
They win. Congratulations on
definite
that
air
one.
quotes around that.
Yeah. It was that or the recycle bin for those 3 books.
The bozo bin for sure.
Right. We've got a list of the a kind of dubious list of the top 10 MMOs. We're going to read that off and comment on that. We got a Heroes of the Web coming up later on, right? Or
Yeah,
a
we've
couple
got
of
all
them.
kinds of random stuff like that we
And
can
then
throw in.
odds and ends of news bits. Or I could just keep talking about what we're going to talk about for the next hour, and then I could say we have no more time.
Or we
Or we say we lost that podcast.
Yeah. Let's start over.
Already.
This is bad.
This is bad, man. You get us the crickets, man. We need a laugh track this week. Okay, so let's talk about SimCity societies. Ryan?
So how about SimCity Society?
Oh, jeez.
Here we go. House of Fire.
Dude, I'll go
Alright,
with you with
so-
the bicycle chain unless you start talking more.
Damn.
Wow.
So our August cover, which
July.
our July cover is SimCity Societies, which is the 5th SimCity game, the first since 2003's
Or is it?
SimCity 4. Well, it's the 5th game to bear the SimCity title. And EA, who publishes SimCity, has decided that the series has gotten too freaking hardcore to keep going down its current path,
Mm-hmm.
and they've come up with what they're saying it might not be part of the main series. They're not calling this game SimCity 5.
That's one way to hedge your bet. So,
Well,
like
yeah,
a
that is
moment
what
ago,
they're
you
doing.
declared that they decided it had gotten too hardcore, but I'm sure somewhere in PR land, someone's like, no, they got it wrong. It's not that we decided it's too hardcore, but we decided we wanted to offer. We haven't announced that there's a SimCity 6 or whatever the number is,
5.
and we might still do that. But this is for the people that don't want to work with the sewage pipes.
Well, they pretty much said that.
That's what they. Yeah, that's exactly
when we
what
went
they're
to see the
doing.
game. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a wait and see how well it does.
Right. I mean, they
know?
basically said pretty much consciously, like, well, there may still be a SimCity 5. This may end up just being a skew of SimCity.
So they kind of
Askew.
So they're kind of positioning this like what was the Streets of SimCity and Sim.
Well, I don't think they're doing either yet. I think they're willing. They're right. Is that fair to say? I mean, this could end up being SimCity 5.
I think
for all
if
intents and
it
purposes.
completely tanks, they'll be like, yeah, that didn't really count. But if it does,
Wow.
if it does really well, maybe they'll kind of embrace that for the
God,
future.
you know what?
It's
We need
just
to
the
do that
only,
with our
it's
magazine.
the only kidding alibi, It's like,
Don't you think
Yeah.
we should be able to do that with GFW? Like, instead of like the July issue, GFW : whatever. So, like, if it tanks and we go, that wasn't really the July issue. The
Just
real
need a
July
subtitle.
issue's coming.
yeah.
Yeah, we need a subtitle.
That's what I do with my column every month.
True. Yeah, and yet we still run it.
So part of the big surprise with this game is that it's not being developed by Maxis.
Yep.
Maxis is busy with Spore.
Whatever.
Yeah. Busy with Spore.
And instead, it's being developed by Tilted Mill, which is the former Impressions guys who did Children of the Nile and Caesar 4.
Uh-huh.
Now, how did Caesar? I mean, I remember Children of the Nile did pretty well, but how did Caesar 4 do? I don't remember.
As far as how good it was?
Yeah, how
or-
good it was. I mean, it's like, are these guys like? Are they leaving the
The Caesar
SimCity
series
franchise in a good pair
It's
of hands?
quite good. I've
Yeah.
always liked the Caesar series.
It's okay.
All right.
Not my favorite, but it's all right.
I like Children of the Nile. I didn't play Caesar 4.
I didn't play Children of the Nile. The name was a little too... I don't know. I couldn't get behind it.
I just keep thinking of like
Yeah.
Children of the Papyrus, like
I
the
kept
Egyptian
thinking of
Children
Children of the Corn, yeah.
Well, that's what Children of the Papyrus is.
Oh, yeah, I
Egyptian
guess
version
you.
of it. God, man.
Well, I got.
Sorry,
Hey, I
fucked
got
up
it.
your joke.
We're all uncultured idiots, Sean.
Yeah. What's papyrus?
Even if it was a bad joke, dude, you can at least acknowledge. No, it reminds me of Children of the Corn. Fuck.
You're wrong, Sean Elliott.
Somebody say you're 0 for 2 on those jokes.
Oh, well.
So,
So what? Yeah.
what's the new direction? Let's get a.
So the central tenet of SimCity societies is your society, your Sims, and well, I mean, as opposed to your city. I mean, the city's always been kind of the focus of the series in the past, and now they're kind of, I guess, taking some of what they've learned from the Sims series and putting the focus a little bit more on the people of the city and how your decisions affect them.
Right.
So,
And how does that affect like specific like gameplay elements?
well, as opposed to just having money that you build up, or whatever, there are 6 social energies that you build up during the game, depending on like what you do, and those social energies are. I don't have the magazine in front of me this week, so I might not be able to remember all 6, but there's.
You wrote it.
It was like a
Shouldn't
month
have to
ago, man.
Consult the magazine.
Okay, so there's.
Let's see what GFW wrote. You fucking wrote it. I forget.
So the 6.
He's so gonna go like Hulk out on you in a second.
All right, hang on. Let's see if I can remember. Okay, the 6 social energies are wealth, industry, knowledge, creativity, devotion, and obedience. There.
Got it.
I
Ding,
got
ding,
'em.
ding, ding. No, 6.
No, that's 6.
Well,
It was? Oh.
Industry,
Okay,
knowledge,
I missed it.
creativity, devotion, and obedience.
All right, that's 6.
So basically,
Okay.
so the city is a living city, kind of like it's like one big sim. I mean, is it according to my
It's a Sim City, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad...
no, but I mean like
No,
it's
no,
like the Sims.
that's not a
but-
bad analogy. Yeah.
Right.
And how you evolve and pursue those different what are they called?
Social energies.
Social energies will affect how your city looks and grows.
Right.
In the same way that you would operate with the sim.
Exactly.
Sort of, yeah.
It's just like we said before, taking the idea of before being in the last segment, taking the idea of a sim and expanding it so that the individual then becomes an entire culture,
Right.
And you look at it as this sort of groupthink mode, and if they're devout or what are the other options? Need not recount them.
Yeah, don't. Please don't.
How shall I count?
It's a gestalt.
But I guess the big controversy is obviously that, this is a lot less of a hardcore city building simulator than all the other Sim cities were.
And that's good.
Well, to you it is.
Hell yeah, to me it is.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, right?
To you too, Sean Malloy?
I don't know. I'll have to see how it
just
plays
land
out. I
tracks?
liked SimCity 4.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I did.
You
Maybe I
still have
didn't like.
SimCity 4, I mean,
Yeah, you still do. You can always go
you
back
could
to
play,
it.
you could play this as something different.
I mean, I don't necessarily, I didn't necessarily love laying sewage pipes by any means, but
Mm-hmm.
this is. I mean, one of the key things you're doing is you're not zoning anymore, aren't you? You're like plopping down the buildings themselves. Is that correct?
Right.
So that's like a big change to me.
Sounds like
Well,
it's-
I think in the Great Lost podcast, which was so great,
It was pretty awesome.
last week, we said that where could they have gone really at this point with SimCity 5 in that same direction?
Right. It was kind of just like more detail, more buildings, better textures for the windows or whatever. And then the people who are complaining on the internet are the ones who are really into SimCity 4.
And
so they would want more of
Right.
that.
There's so much potential here. I mean, like I guess I have to admit this, and then the mob can come after me. But I haven't played any of the SimCity games.
Mm-hmm.
What?
But
the mob.
I'm assuming that they're gauging your efficiency and your urban planning and all these other things. And however, I'm not sure what the gauge for success was. But here it seems interesting in that, I mean, because they're able to basically create societies with any number of faces, hyper, dictatorships with, Orwellian backdrops and everything like that. You can throw that and compare it and contrast it to Hippieville, where you've got mimes on every corner and just, tie-dye jumpers, which they sell in Berkeley, out on
Oh yeah, sure.
Telegraph Avenue. I
Yep.
call them acid babies. It's like a tie-dye jumper.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I just need to comment on that. That's child abuse, putting that shit on your kid. But you could do the equivalent of that in this game, right? Right, Ryan? I mean,
It's pretty much how it is, yeah. I mean, like, the previous SimCities, you had, like, your only goal was to get as many people in your city as
Right.
you
The,
could.
Right,
the,
you'd have
the
Like, there was
success was
one
determined
path.
basically by finance.
Yeah, you'd
Right.
look at population density charts and pollution
Mhm.
charts, and that's kind of how you gauged how well you were doing.
Right. So this is people are calling this a lot like what was that game? City Life. Is that what that was called?
People have been making comparisons
Like
to that, yeah.
disparagingly saying, well, this is like a kid's version. But I mean, really, what I feel like, especially
different.
this early on. I mean, of course, people are resistant to change. People can't handle something being different. But it's like there's really hasn't been that much information out to be so negative about this game already. It's like let's give them a chance. Let's give them a chance to fuck it up. Then we'll be angry.
this is
I mean, like, but I found myself wondering, though, if they didn't call it SimCity and they just called it like something else,
Sure.
would people be as pissed off?
Well, of course
No.
not.
Exactly. So
No.
just forget the SimCity name for a second and just calm the fuck down for 5 seconds.
you
No.
bitches want some
Wow.
deja vu, Darren excluded.
Sure.
It reminds me of comic books, I'll say it again, just because where you've got a different creative team, different directions occurring on books that have been around a long time, and there's the same guys on the message board. Maybe Jeff is able to give us an approximation of how they sound, but the first thing they hear, they do when they hear that whatever team that they're used to or whichever artist they love so much is doing their book. And I do this too,
Sure.
Ultimates, it's like Brian Hitch and Mark Millar not doing it anymore. Fuck that shit. They ain't touching it. And it's the same thing with SimCity. But other times, you get this new team on, you're like, wow, who would have thought to have done this? This is actually better than
That can
the
always
last.
happen.
The last.
Was
iteration of
this
it or
part of
something,
last week's when I was out?
Right.
It was.
Oops, sorry.
It was, but I think it's appropriate.
It's
you
still
could
relevant. I agree.
and
Yeah,
it's relevant for I don't know how many other media does that analogy work for? I guess different writer. I mean, some people you'd have to be a really
Writers on
hardcore
movies,
fan.
I guess. Or?
But for directors on movies
yeah.
is great, especially.
I'll give you a great
especially
one.
definitely.
I'll give you a great TV one. Gilmore Girls. You had. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to turn in my man card on this one.
I knew you were going to say
I don't
that.
even know what that is, but the name is Gilmore Girls.
I'm sorry. There's people who
Hey.
listening here who are gonna back me up. That show ruled.
Partying on the streets, we got our fake tits and we're ready to roll.
No,
What?
no. The theme song's actually done by Carole King.
Okay.
Jerk.
I've seen a couple episodes, and I will concede it is not what I thought based on the title.
Exactly. It's not Golden Girls.
It's
not
not.
like
It's-
B. Arthur.
No,
with
but
a laugh track.
But like, isn't it? For some reason, I'm thinking it's like the equivalent of like 30-something Golden Girls, but in Orange County. So it's like
no.
all of them have got like
No.
counterfeit mams
It's
and
a
stuff.
no.
It's so
a,
witty
it-
it threatened to topple in on itself.
It's a mom and her daughter, and the dialogue. The show's over now. Was incredibly sharp and fast. It was written by mostly by this one writer, Amy Sherman Palladino, who actually cut her teeth on Roseanne back in the day. She and her husband, they basically shepherded the show for years and years, and it had very much had the pace of like a screwball comedy of the 30s, where everybody's talking super fast and the cultural references were flying left and right, and you would have to listen multiple times to get it all. But anyway, the point is,
Just like SimCity.
just like SimCity. Yeah, this is why this is so relevant. The point is,
I'm so pretending I'm
she
listening.
did this. I know you're not listening. For those listening, the point is, they did this show for 6 seasons and it was basically their show. And then there was a contract dispute, and Amy Sherman Palladino left. She said, "Screw it. I created the show. It's my show, but I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore." But the show stayed on the air for 1 more year. And so you had this whole year of fans going like, "Oh my God, the show so should have died because the whole tone is gone because there's a different writer now." New writers came in, and they tried to keep the Gilmore Girls thing going, the mystique, that whole thing. But everybody like me, who sadly I've seen every single episode of every season, could really tell the difference in the tenor of the dialogue. And I was among the people going like, "Why didn't they cancel this last year? Rory would never talk this way. How could he would never be her boyfriend last year." That
I need
kind
a
of stuff.
video of that.
Yeah.
So that was an example of a franchise that was taken away from its original people, and it got fucked up, and now it's canceled.
Right.
And I'm happy. It's like, okay, now we can all pretend that episode of Gilmore Girls never existed.
I thought you were going to bring this back and say, but it turned out to be awesome anyway in a different way.
No, actually, it
Oh,
sucked.
okay, it still sucked.
Yeah, no. So that's the lesson
okay.
here.
So thanks.
It works both ways then, is what we're saying.
Right.
I have no idea, honestly, which category SimCity societies will fall into,
Right.
but there are plenty of examples that go either way.
Right.
Video games and movies, comics, TV, whatever you name.
So let's give an example of where it worked. To counter Mike
Okay,
Gilmore.
wait, okay.
Here's
an
Mike
example.
Gilmore. Girls
Limitation.
example. Empire Strikes Back.
Give me yours. Empire Strikes Back. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you
That's
go.
a good one.
Bam.
Ryan?
How about a comic book?
Brian's got one.
All right, Brian.
DC recently announced that their current Flash series
I was waiting for this.
is being canceled as of this week's issue,
Thank God.
and they are going back to the original series and the original numbering,
Huh.
which ended at 231.
How does the Flash not work? All the dude does is run fast. How do you
They-
fuck that up?
they screwed it up?
in the new Flash, he ran slow.
He moonwalks.
It was
Reverses
his-
time.
The best Flash story ever was actually written for the Quicksilver character that's Marvel's ripoff of him.
Why did they
And
bring
it's-
this up?
And this is basically like if you take a character that can go, and I'll let you go back on Ryan, but you take a character that basically moves that rapidly,
Yeah.
and you take and extend it, with that sort of thinking typical of like a Mark Millar or something. But this was a Peter David story I'm referring to. You say, what would it be like to be this person? And so there's the whole episode he ends up going to his like therapist or something and bitching about how what a horrible misanthropist he is, because how we get pissed off waiting in lines and stuff. I mean, his whole world is basically waiting at the DMV.
Misanthrope? Did you mean to say?
Yeah.
Misanthropist. I didn't know. You got stuck. I got stuck there.
Okay, or
Sorry.
I did, or whatever.
That's
but
actually a really good thought.
But it was. I mean, he was just this miserable wretch because everyone
Right.
was the slowest piece of shit, like like
He'd go
DWG, like
nuts.
driving while geriatric or whatever, in every aspect of his life. And anyway,
But can't he just slow down when he wants to? He doesn't have to always be super fast.
no, but because if your mind is able to handle to function at that capacity and let you move that rapidly throughout the world, it stands to reason that it's going to be that quick in every other aspect too.
True.
I mean, at least that was the assumption that the writer took. But
Yeah, because he would read books in a split second. Like
Yeah, that's got to
he
suck.
would do that all the time.
yeah,
What
So
would
that-
bore you?
That is the curse.
and that was
Yes.
it was funny because
that's one of the many curses of Flash.
best Flash story wasn't told in the Flash, and then like the best Superman story wasn't told for Superman. It was the Samaritan in Astro City,
Oh.
which quick
That was
synopsis
awesome.
since I
Yeah.
dropped that is that you have the same thing. And you know that if you sleep for a moment or
Right.
get a latte or go and tap Lois Lane or whatever, that like you could have
Someone's
saved
X
mad
number of
fools.
people.
Right, that's right. The Samaritan could never rest. Right,
Yeah.
he was always. I remember that story.
But hey, Marlon
Okay,
Brando.
so wait.
himself
So Ryan-
is
So
what
Ryan, your
happened?
Flash
Tell your
story.
Flash story.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
All right, so anyway.
Sorry, Ryan.
So this new horrible Flash series is canceled, and they're reverting to the original series numbering with Mark Waid back on the book.
Good old Mark Waid. Okay, but how did they fuck up the Flash? Seriously.
They introduced a new. Well, they put a new character in the role, and he didn't really work that well.
You mean a whole brand new Flash?
Well, they promoted Kid Flash into the.
That's the
full
fucking
Flash
problem
overhaul.
with all DC's comics. There's like 6 billion versions of every character.
This is why I
You know,
know
like you look
How
at
many
the Flash.
How many
there's
Flash
like
people are there? I mean,
there's like a billion different. There's like kid versions, and the same with Superman. There's a goddamn dog in a cape. There's girls.
Crypto.
There's
Yeah.
women. You
Who's,
can't just have Batman. You have to have
You're
like,
right.
Bat Bitch. You have to have all. You know? DC Comics is fucking trash.
I'd read that bitch.
Although Marvel did it too. Remember, Ryan? I was pointing out there was like a girl Wolverine or whatever. I'm like, what the hell
Really?
is this shit?
Yeah,
There's
yeah, they
Spider
did.
Woman.
The Spider Girl. They did
Wait,
the same
what
thing.
was
She-Hulk?
Girl Wolverine called?
It was
Is that what
like
she was called.
Nyx
X,
or something.
no, X30,
X9 or-
X32 or 23 or some
Yeah,
nonsense.
that's
like
so
that.
deep.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Who's the
Badger
Green
8.
Lantern right now?
The main Green Lantern.
Who is it? Is it Hal
Hal
Jordan?
Back to Hal Jordan.
Oh, it's him again.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
Awesome. So basically, I left comic books for like 10 years, and nothing has fucking happened.
Well, that was another similar thing where everyone hated the Green Lantern before. Like, bring Hal back, bring Hal back. So,
Right. But
I'm
wasn't he
hoping-
never coming back because he was like dead forever?
well, they figured out how to undie.
yeah.
This
They
is
never do that.
Convenient.
What are we talking about?
I'm hoping.
no,
No,
By the way,
I'm
this
hoping
is
that-
totally the Meander cast. I don't even see this.
That's all right. Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, SimCity.
I was saying I'm hoping that this sort of carries across, like when you or I watch Trekkies. Don't give a shit about you do, but I don't really give a shit about Star Trek. Although I know
I don't.
they do some really
I don't
good
know
episodes.
shit about Star Trek.
But
Don't put that on me.
You can watch it, and it's still an interesting window into that you can laugh at. And so hopefully someone's laughing at our expense and saying like it hasn't turned our show.
I
off
confess to watching 7 seasons of Gilmore Girls.
yet. That's true. Yeah, you would do
And you
yourself a
don't- and you
favor tuning into some Star Trek.
And you don't have a Captain Pike go kart? Whatever, man.
I blame my wife and kid. I only watched it with them, except for seasons
Okay,
2
so-
and 3.
SimCity Societies
Is like the Flash.
Which is like,
Empire Strikes Back. It's like,
let's bring it
We're
back.
hoping
Did you make your
it's
point
either
and we missed
Gilmore
it?
Girls or
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back. We don't know.
we'll find
On
out.
that, Ryan.
Well,
any final words?
Oh my!
No.
Okay.
Here's
Well,
a random.
This is what happens when we try to redo a conversation we had last week. So let's not even try that again.
Since
Yeah,
we're
let's not.
since we're rambling,
Yeah.
I got like probably the fastest now playing ever. And I'm
Oh,
like,
go for it.
Okay.
like, I was going to avoid this because I'm playing Battlefield 2 again. I'm also playing World in Conflict very heavily, but I'm not going to talk about it now because to pimp the one-up show, I just don't want it to be where people that watch that and listen to us are like, hey, that motherfucker said the same thing 4 days ago or something.
Right.
So, but Battlefield 2, the best part of my weekend, I was sitting there and oh god, did I really just say that? The best part of my weekend.
Yeah.
So
I guess
Yeah.
not the time you
I'm
spent
sitting
with
there
your girlfriend, huh?
and in well, she's gone for 2 months with,
Oh, okay.
with her
All right.
family. With her
Okay.
family,
I was
but
trying to get you in trouble
so
there.
no, but that explains why. I mean, I'm going to be doing some serious. Some
You got nothing
gaming
but
in
free
my
time
house.
now.
Apparently.
But we're sitting there playing the map Moshter City, and all the audio. We're on the Mideast Coalition side, and all the audio is in Arabic. So we just keep hearing Tuntanyan, and I heard it enough because the commander keeps. It means something. It has to do with something when you sight, when spotted, sniper spotted, or whatever, infantry spotted, and he just kept saying it. And I like in my head, I'm hearing it, and I'm like, Tuntanyan. So all of a sudden, like in TeamSpeak, I was like, Tuntan. Tuntanyan, Tuntanyan, Tanyan, Tuntanyan, Tuntanyan. And then so after Herbie Hancock, it was like Tuntanyan, 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 Tuntanyan. And then we're just doing this for about an hour, and then one of us is like, what the hell?
It sounded a little bit like a Hebrew school song to me.
Diana?
Dude,
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
throw that
It's getting closer.
Herbie Hancock spin on
Yeah,
it, though.
I spotted that too.
Darren and I are going to bust into Dainu now.
So here's some Dainu.
Dainu.
No, I can't do it, man. I just
Okay.
can't do it.
Yeah, all right. Sorry.
All right, that was a speed now playing.
Has anybody else, while we're at it, has anybody else been playing anything?
Yes.
Darren Gladstone, what have you been
Raise it.
playing?
Okay, so ever on the indie beat, I found a game called Crayon Physics, which you can find at clooneygames.com.
As in George?
Sadly, no.
Okay.
KLOONIGAMES. So this guy, he does a really cool job. Every month or so, he publishes a game that he puts together in like a week, and he has a lot of different creative things he's done over the past couple months. And this one, basically, the art style, it's like you're working on a piece of construction paper or something, and you have to get a little red ball from one end to the other of one part of the screen to the other. In order to do that, you actually draw objects on screen. So you're actually creating physical objects that appear in the world. So you draw a rectangle. If you draw a big rectangle, it adds weight to it and drops on a beam, and you want basically
Cool. So kind of like
it's kind of like
Rube
Armadillo Run a little.
I was saying like a Rube Goldberg line writer, though. You know.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, the thing is like you're basically creating all the things in the environment on the fly, and it's just the same kind of concept as line writer or that kind of stuff.
That's
but
totally cool, though. I mean,
definitely worth checking
drawing
out.
something and having it like do something.
Yeah, suddenly be a physical
Is all the
object.
DS
like,
lovers out there will tell
yeah.
us.
Sounds like Harold and the Purple Crayon a little bit.
Is that Harold? Wait, is this?
What?
Here's a.
What?
That's different than Simon in the Land of Chalk Drawings, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know. I don't know what
remember
that is.
No, I do remember
Because
that.
I always
my
have
name is
like,
Simon, and the
yeah,
things
yeah.
I draw come true. Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
I
different.
still have that song, and I was
Very
like, I
similar.
couldn't. After a
I
while,
totally
I
remember
was
that.
wondering if that shit was like my imaginary friend, or if that was really
No,
a
that was
show.
real.
That was real.
You know, my name is Simon, and things I draw come true. Yeah,
Wasn't that like
What the
it was
hell's
like
going on?
No, it was like a segment for like Captain Kangaroo or some crap.
It was
like
on
that.
PBS. I remember.
yeah,
it was
right.
like with the letter people and all
and
this
there
scary
was,
shit.
dude, Bill Cosby.
Electric Company, maybe.
Bill Cosby had some magic kind of crayon too.
Oh yeah, picture pages.
Oh, there was also
Lots of fun with picture pages.
What was the
Time
show where
to
you put
grab
the
your
thing on your
pens and
TV screen?
pencils.
Do you guys, were you old enough to remember the thing where you got the thing that you put it on your TV screen and then you drew?
You had to start
I don't
that
know about
sentence
that
with,
one.
"Are you old?"
I
enough?"
saw.
It was
I think you
called-
remember because you had
shit.
a daughter who was young enough to want it at the
What?
time, probably, right?
What?
I don't know what that is.
What? You had a daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, as in offspring.
Yes, I still have her.
And at the time that shit was on the TV screen, she was at the age
No,
to
no,
be
no, no. This
watching
was
it
when
saying,
I was a kid.
Danny, I want it.
No, when
this
I
is-
was a kid.
Okay.
This is back when
Okay,
like
everyone,
I can't
everyone
remember
come
what it
down.
was
Everyone,
called.
everyone.
So
If there's any 40-ish listeners out there, if you remember the name of this TV show where you put this thing on top of your
this is
screen,
just paper.
Vectrex.
it was like a transparent thing, and you would draw. They would say, "Okay, kids, now draw a big circle on the screen."
I used to do that on my own because paper would stick because of the static.
that
which
was
doesn't-
picture pages.
Really? Is that what-
It worked
like-
the same way.
It was like
Okay.
cellophane, just kind of like
Yeah, except occasionally the dumb kid at home wouldn't actually have the thing they were supposed to buy, and they would just draw on the TV.
Nice.
Oh, no.
That show ended pretty quick then, huh?
Were you that dumb kid?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Look what I did to the TV, Dad. Don't make me hit you again.
So did you use lipstick, coffee grounds, what?
Mommy.
Yeah, I
Probably
used my
marker.
brother's lipstick.
Bubble gum.
My brother's lipstick.
Well, that's from like, America's
what that-
Funniest Videos. There's always the video, the disaster scene where the parent takes a tour of their house, and then it always like concludes with like a shot of the kid covered in either, house paint, lipstick, or there's like mom's maxi pads are all over the wall, and the kid's like airplane stickers. I mean,
or the DVD player's full of oatmeal or whatever.
yeah.
Right.
Or the dog did it. Like the whole house is in shreds.
Just like SimCity.
Just like crayon physics.
So hey, it's rumored that the cast of GFW is considering putting together a podcast about PC games.
Really?
That's a vicious
You mean an
rumor.
actually on-topic podcast?
Sounds like a
We should
great
do that
idea.
every Friday.
Well, we played that joke, and everyone was like asking for it. Where's the podcast about the PC games? And we were like, it's a joke.
No, actually, it was a podcast about like off-topic stuff.
I know,
See, there you
I
go
know.
again.
See, you blew this.
I had to be-
What is he doing on purpose? I don't know. The irony level is.
I know.
spiraling.
The irony
Yeah.
level's too thick
It
this
was-
time.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
can't work my way out of that one.
That's how I do it.
I honestly have no idea what we were talking about now.
I don't either. But
Well,
let's
I
go
do.
back to what are you playing?
it was
We
the-
got
yeah,
Darren's
that was
playing
it.
a game that's that
There we go.
reminded us of all these dumb drawing things.
I think Winky Dink. That's what it was called.
Stop.
That was the name of the show.
Next, we're going to be Shrinky Dinks. Remember Shrinky
No,
Dink?
no,
Winky
Winky
Dink rhymes with Shrinky Dinks.
Somebody confirm.
No, it's
listener,
my turn.
Confirm with me out there that the show was called Winky Dink. Okay, now we'll move on.
Okay.
Is anybody else playing anything other than Pac-Man on the Xbox Live Arcade?
About to say
I
that.
was playing. Well, this is a console game, but it has ties to the PC. I was playing Prince of Persia Classic.
Ah, me too.
Which it's on Xbox Live Arcade.
Totally faithful.
Yep, it's a remake of the original Prince of Persia. With
Looks good. Good
It
graphics.
looks awesome, right?
It does look really
yeah.
good.
God, now it's time for Out of This World and Flashback Classic.
Hardcore the
Nice.
game.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Or
Because like
Karateka.
that level of does it animate that smoothly too?
Yes.
For all the
Well, that was all rotoscoped back in the day.
right.
That's
So
right.
do they do the equivalent of that? I mean, now they're not rotoscoping because it's 3D, right? It's presented as 2D, but it's 3D graphics.
3D on a 2D.
Okay.
It's still
Sure.
2D and
Yeah.
it's still
Do they use-
side scroll.
But you would
They use
still
a character from the new games. That Prince.
They use that. sort of
Yeah,
art
he does
style,
look like
yeah.
that guy.
Cool.
But do they still obsess over the animation, although it's clearly not rotoscoped? Are they still? Does it have that degree of fluidity? where everything is, these just real gestural.
I think it was really,
sweeping and gestural.
Yeah. It looks the same to me. Not the same, but it looks fluid in that way. Yeah. It's still a great game, but the thing that struck me this weekend when I was playing it was I guess I just forgot how unforgiving Prince of Persia is as a game. I mean, you do get the warning if you're getting to the edge. You get that, whoa, sort of thing. But there are I slipped and fell into, down 8 flights and smashed my body, I don't know how many times, just from, one little slip of the controller.
Does it start you at the very beginning of the level once you do that?
Well, there are checkpoints.
Yeah, there's checkpoints. But you lose a life,
I mean, you lose, it counts against your time.
Oh, and against your time,
if
that's
you use
right.
a checkpoint.
Yeah.
A lot of old games were like that, though. Otherwise, you'd be able to blow through them in 30 minutes.
All old games are like that,
yeah.
They hated you.
And actually, they do put a couple
playing.
little new kind of cheats on there. There's this little, like, twinkly, glowy, butterfly-y thing that sort of, like,
tells you where to go,
which is sort of annoying.
It's called Navi. It goes,
yeah.
Hey!
It's a little bit like that. Yeah.
And then,
Look here. Look at this way.
Yeah.
the last fight is also changed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The combat feels a little harder to me this time. Is that my imagination? It seems like there's more moves now than there were.
I always just avoid the combat.
How do you avoid the combat? You can't get past the guy.
Stealth. You can use a move where, like, if you parry the dude's sword swing, if you're like right next to him, you can switch positions with him.
Oh, okay.
So and then run to the side.
As proven in Flash 216, in the third installment, sometimes simply running and evading is superior to stopping the fight.
Quoting a Bible verse there.
Especially if you run very fast.
Flash 216, Volume 2.
And then there's Pac-Man.
And then there's Pac-Man.
I don't really want to go on.
Then there's that.
There's Pac-Man, but I am so frickin' addicted
I'm
to
there
that
with
game.
you now.
Last night was the first time in days that I went to bed before 1 a.m. because of Pac-Man. Pac-Man's been keeping me up until the wee hours.
I understand, Jeff. Don't worry.
I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out.
Pac-Man. It's awesome.
It's something about the shortness of the game, the 5-minute championship mode, plus the fact that you could see all your friends' scores up
That's
there.
the big thing.
Yeah.
And because like you can see exactly how to be perfect in it, so like you just strive for that every time. You're like, oh crap, I screwed that up. I'm going to try that one more time, and I just got to corner that a little better.
Yeah, and you make that one mistake, and you just want to start all over. Yeah,
Pac-Man,
awesome, an awesome Pac-Man.
I need to get it.
Highly
Everybody needs
recommend it.
There's also that, what was it, the motion ride simulator that I didn't play, but I watched your mom playing. Basically, when I was at the Tahoe arcade, they had like a ride simulator, and it had tell this to Darren because he hasn't heard it. And they had like a sloping bed that you basically lay back on and you hold on, and there were two in tandem, and then you watch the movie of the roller coaster.
Oh, I've seen this thing.
Yeah, you could choose between like the Hell Ride roller coaster, or like the Clown roller coaster, or whatever you want. But what I saw on this thing was like a couple for like a gross weight of, God, I don't know. What did I guess last time? A quarter of a ton. No, not, that would be each. So half ton, right?
Yeah, I think he has to half ton.
So combined half ton. But when this bad dad started kicking, the woman and she was in head to toe purple and wearing Birkenstocks, so it was just
confirming the theory
that like kicking, like bacon bread foot stuff. But the whole ride, it was just like it was amazing because it reminded me of a waterbed in an earthquake. But my camera, it was too dark in there to take a picture. But there was this other game that is good enough to call now playing. And it's basically a roulette wheel with 5 slots on it and a rubber ball that goes around. And here I took a little sample of what this thing sounds like as and I'm just going to play it as the ball's in rotation. And then the sound file will end when the ball stops. And here we go. So you can tell it's pretty catchy right there.
Wow.
Now, wait for it. And at that point, you win 50, 75, 100 tickets. And that's
basically minimum tickets you win.
So yeah. Well, no, if you bet on blue. if you bet on
Oh,
yellow,
I
you're
see.
shit out of luck. But you can
Okay.
place multiple bets. So any smart person's looking at this thing being like, all right, I'm going to bet on every color. So that way I win every time.
Yeah, sure. You
But
play the odds.
Yeah, but then the long story short, I had a whole bunch of tickets, and it basically got me not so many Tootsie Rolls.
Yes.
That's a sad story.
At least you had Tootsie Rolls. It's better than achievement points.
That's true.
You can't eat achievement points. Yeah, I never liked Tootsie Rolls, though.
I didn't eat them. I just started giving the tickets away to kids. They get all excited.
Yeah, they do get psyched if you do that.
They do. The kids like.
Oh
the
yeah,
kids.
because to
You're
them,
Santa Claus.
like a whoopee cushion or like Chinese finger cuffs, all that shit that in there
yeah.
that comes from whatever sweatshops. It's like that stuff's still fun for that. Water snakes, water weenies,
One Super Bowl lasts hours.
We delve into the water maze.
all that red stuff.
Until it
in there.
bounces over the neighbor's
They
fence.
did have. I almost got it, but I decided not to. For 600 tickets, they had a toilet with a dancing piece of shit in it. And, I'm not making that up.
That's
I know you're not.
And it
That's
basically, in it, you could choose between a baby blue or a pink toilet, and it was tempting. I saw
600 tickets.
I
Is
saw
that like
some-
the grand prize?
no, they had a Wii there, and at first I was so dumb.
A Wii.
I knew this shit was a scam because I actually stopped and did a double take, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play,
Right.
thinking I'm gonna keep playing that roulette shit for a Wii. That look, it was 70,000.
Yeah, how much money would you have to drop on
do the math on that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So 70,000 tickets for the Wii and 600 for the dancing.
Yeah,
shit?
and then keep in mind that roulette game is about as generous as they get in those shitholes. I mean, most of them you'll be lucky, skee ball or something, get yourself 5 tickets per game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just think how cool that dancing
turd in a
dancing
toilet.
turd would be.
I should have got it just for it's one of those things that it would go well in Crispin's office or your office or something. For all you shit hoarders.
You've been regretting it ever since, huh? You think about it every day.
You can always
Didn't
go
get
back.
that shit.
You can go back. I'm sure I'll go back.
This
I
was
like
in
going there.
Tahoe.
Yeah, it's the Lake Tahoe Harry's or Harvey's Casino. They're two are
O'Hara's,
connected. Harrah's, yeah, Harrah's.
or whatever the hell it is.
It's a Clinton watch where the hands go backwards.
All right. Are we ready for a break?
Oh,
I
We can
sure.
go out
we are
on a,
so ready.
on a quick hero.
Okay, do that.
Okay, we'll do a
Yes.
quick hero, then
Come
we're
back
going to
with
take a
one.
break, and we're going to be back for another half
Yeah,
hour
hero of the web.
of madness.
Okay. Just jump right into this. As usual, hero of the web is someone heroic that we find on the web. And they're always found on message boards. This one goes by the name of Tails, calls himself a legendary Yoshi. And in his post, "Do you have an imaginary friend?" he answers, "Well, everything started a few days ago when I was sleeping, and then something was next to me. So I open my eyes, and I look at the left of my mattress to see who's there, and there it was. Tails was there, sleeping right next to me. Then he woke up and said, 'Hey, what you want? Leave alone. Don't talk to me, because I'm extremely pissed off because Eggman sent me to nowhere here.' Then I interrupt, very sad. 'Hey, Tails, I know how you fell, because I know you a lot, but can please help you stop talking like that, because I know you are not like that.' Then he replied, 'Well, just turn around and leave me alone and get put.' Then I interrupt. 'Hey, you know what? Fine, take the whole bet if you want. You're not Tails. Tails is not like you.' Then it was quiet for 5 minutes, and then he said, 'Hey, I'm sorry. Can you come here? I don't like to sleep alone. Please forgive me. Yes, I'm friendly and nice, and I'm the Tails that you know.' Okay, fine. Then I went back to my mattress and sleep with my hero, Tails. Then, when I was about to sleep, he gave me a big hug. I miss everyone. I hope Sonic and the others are okay, but for now, I'm going to stay and live with you. Is that okay?" Tails said. Then I make a gesture with my head saying, "Yes." Then we went back to sleep hugging each other. He wrapped me with his 2 tails because my covers were so dirty, so I have nothing to cover me on night. Until today, I still live with Tails. No one can see him or hear him, so when I want to talk to him, I go outside and talk. He knows everything you know about me, and now I have a new friend to talk and play. I don't know how this happened, but I'm really happy. Take us out. Take us to a break. I need a drink.
Okay, we'll be back.
This One Up podcast is brought to you by Games for Windows. Welcome to Better PC Gaming. Created with the idea that gaming should deliver more. Games for Windows branded titles bring you all the fun of gaming without all the work. And with the hottest titles around and Windows Vista compatibility, Games for Windows promises to deliver great new gaming experiences every time you play.
Oh, we're back. I thought you were going to beatbox.
I did. Didn't you hear it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Okay.
That remind me before we're done to ask people to decide the winner of that.
Of the intro beatbox contest. Yeah. Right. Okay.
The rap battle.
Since we can't talk
you
about it
just
right
reminded
now.
yourself.
8-bit mile.
Okay, so last week on last week on Kotaku they posted
That's a good name for it.
Actually, no, Kotaku just linked to it. It came from I wrote it down. It came from GigaOM or Om.com. Posted a list of the top 10 MMOs according to them based on active users or subscribers. Should I read the list, or you want to take it, Ryan? You want to read it?
I can do it.
All right.
And
so Ryan,
pay careful attention to the terminology used here. Number 1, World of Warcraft. No surprise. 8.5 million subscribers. Number 2, Habbo Hotel at 7.5 million active users.
Uh-huh.
Number 3 is RuneScape, 5 million active users. Number 4 is Club Penguin, 4 million active users.
Penguins are hot.
Yeah. Number 5, Webkins, 3.8 million active
Webkin.
users. Webkin.
I just read a Hero of the Webkin.
Yeah, that one.
Number 6 is Gaia Online, 2 million active users. Number 7, Guild Wars, 2 million active users. 8 is Yo-Ho-Ho Puzzle Pirates, 1.5 million active users. Number 9, I guess, is a combination of Lineage 1 and 2, 1 million subscribers. And 10 is Second Life, 500,000 active users. And every one of those games, with the exception of World of Warcraft and the Lineage games, have some sort of free component. So
what, you're saying that's significant?
Well, of course you have all these millions of active users. It's free.
I want to read off the list again between World of Warcraft and Guild Wars. Numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 through 6. Habbo Hotel, RuneScape, Club Penguin, Webkins, and Gaia Online.
So
have we fucking heard of any of those?
I have.
Well, I've heard of RuneScape. RuneScape's actually been around since 2001.
I've referred to Habbo Hotel
in
the briefing context before because I was saying like something off the forums. Goon Squad will go and like just mess the hell out of that.
The Habbo Hotel is number 2 at 7.5 million. The next
that's
one,
phenomenal. That's
I can't
crazy.
believe
the next one is
and
RuneScape
all these are
at 5
basically
million.
the same. Well, excluding RuneScape, but like Webkins is like another. It's basically Habbo Hotel with pets,
Right.
and they're basically all just public, social spaces where you walk around and you decorate your room. The kind of shit that kids get so geeked out for in that stupid Animal Crossing game, really, right?
Yeah, well,
actually, I was
kinda.
surprised not to see Neopets on here, frankly, because Neopets was one of the originals of these.
And of course, it's just massively multiplayer. But like, the way that they're organized is so that they're constantly, you're constantly accruing. I don't know, just like additional hidden costs for everything you do, So it's like, hey, you want to go do this puzzle, or you want to go into the pool to talk to people, and then like, boom, that gateway, you get charged another, incremental fee. You want to get, a new hat for your dog, and boom, and it's like, hey, mom, give your credit card one time only just to register, and that's not going to charge you. That's just so you're in here, which of course, that's how like Second Life works. But then these kids start clicking all this shit, and it's like, boom, 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 and you inevitably have that talk, where you're like. You get your credit card statement back, and you see like $600 Habbo Hotel, and you're like, I didn't first. Then you go first yell at your spouse, where's Habbo Hotel? And then,
seeing that slut again.
And then after you get divorced years later, you find out that it was your kid, like basically, and it was even more scary is because. I mean, that's the big worry about these games is that they're basically just like predator havens,
Right.
Why is our daughter hanging out at Habbo Hotel?
Sweet Tea Hotel.
This actually reminds me, remember a week or two ago when we all went out to lunch and we went to that new lunch place? Or it was new to me. I guess it's been there for 6 years, but since I don't ever notice anything. It's called Working Girls Cafe. Well, I put that on my my charge card, and And,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and a few days ago, my wife
Yeah.
goes, "Hey Jeff, there's this charge on the credit card statement for working girls. What is that? What is that about?" And for like
Yeah.
half a second, I was like, "Oh fuck,
You were trying to remember.
what did I do?
You're like,
what did I do?"
that website's
But then
called,
I remember, oh God, it's a sandwich place. Oh, I'm so in the clear. And she's like, okay, I didn't know what you could actually get for $8, but
Nice.
There's a coupon.
actually it was salami. That's what I got. So, ironic.
Heyo.
Okay, so
So this stuff's clearly popular.
yeah, I do find the list to be a little dubious, if I may say. I mean, I believe that all these things have as many subscribers as they're saying, but you probably need a separate list where it's actually just like games that are about.
No, a list
Games.
catered to you. Like, ignore the facts and let's
Exactly.
cater a list to like Jeff
Yes.
Green's desires.
Well, paid,
Well, yes.
paid,
Duh.
well, paid subscribers are like, users that actually have to like drop money on
Yeah,
stuff
like a
after.
monthly fee to
Sure,
be in a
sure,
in
that
an
would be a
MMO.
fair-
Well, yeah, that's
That
a fair
would
one.
be a fair
Because this is kind of
delineation.
apples and oranges in a way. Because
Gaia Online is a forum.
Well, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And Webkins, I mean, that thing is like you have to buy a plush toy at a store and then register the thing,
And then name
and
it.
then you get the
Then your plush
Did
toy
you guys
walks
go to
around in
that
a virtual
website? I
world.
guess sent you guys
I
the
did.
link.
We watched the video.
God damn, that thing was like a frickin' acid trip. That
Put that
homepage.
Put that in your browser and then do the tour. Click the tour.
Yeah, it was like these horrible like day glow colors with these like creepy stuffed animals. It freaked me out.
It was like watching Teletubbies,
Yeah, it was
but
like
if
Teletubbies.
you knew
Yeah.
that simply by watching it, your kid might accidentally cost you another like $700 or $800 just by doing the wrong thing.
Find a
Those
hippo
animals
hat.
are going to be in my nightmares tonight. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Well, you're a parent. I mean, you're beyond the years of worrying about that.
Yeah.
But like, it seems, I don't know.
Well,
like,
no, Sarah.
It seems like you wouldn't want your kid going in these things. I
Well,
mean,
she was in Neopets, and then she was in Disney's Toontown for a while, which are both versions of these things.
how closely supervised are they?
Well, they're very closely supervised. They're actually pretty. They all do a great job of making it really impossible for your kid to be talked to.
Bless that Dateline camera crew.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, all kidding aside, that stuff is crucially important.
Yeah.
and they really,
Oh, yeah, you
they
can't
really
have
do
that
make
kind of-
sure that there's no way anybody can
Yeah.
there's no chat function.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I mean, you almost just because you have to. I mean, you have to have a GM in any kind of like MMO, but it seems like in that you have to have so much supervision that alone would necessitate you're having to charge, or either that or just load it up with advertising, which is I think is how it works. I bet you those things are just it's the typical Channel 1 stuff.
About
You have Channel 1 in schools where basically if the school's going to get like uniforms for their football TV or something, they have to agree to like show this Channel 1 shit, and it's increasingly just a bunch of advertisements and some and some such. So I'm just guessing that it's a guess, but the other kin webkin webkin. That's the problem. And Habbo Hotel are just like loaded up with
right.
ads everywhere.
I mean, and certainly the fact that Second Life is on this list puts
Yeah.
the whole list into question.
But
Because that's not a game.
that means that well no, because that's not surprising.
So
What's your definition of game?
I don't know.
Not that.
Not Second Life. Right. Okay. We have anything else this week?
My oh god, this sucks. My mic just keeps going in and out.
Really?
When I turn
Yeah,
my head,
yeah,
I
yeah.
got a
Yours-
short. Here it
again.
is. If I hold up the cord, it's just
Oh,
the right
sorry.
angle. You could still hear me.
Really?
Maybe not. I don't know.
We can hear you.
I can
Yeah,
hear
I
you
can
fine.
hear you.
All right, I'll just pinch this cord.
I think it's just your return is busted.
I think you're going to have to do a little creative editing here with this shit.
We could talk. People need to know. Maybe if people.
I can't work under these conditions.
Jeff, you piece of shit, dude. We said like no more burping.
I know, but we're not recording.
This is going in. This is how we
Okay.
do it. We're like the
no stops.
We're some kind of monster Metallica version of podcast.
Well, we're taking my burp out.
And that burp's staying. But no, but if people hear how sad our setup is, maybe they'll send us in some, like some cans to recycle. There I go, cutting out again.
Okay, so Sennheiser, if you want to send us some new headphones, we could use them.
That's true.
Thanks, guys.
I didn't ask for
We're
money.
supposed to
I
get new
asked for
headphones.
cans to recycle, or I don't know, anything I put on eBay.
New equipment is theoretically on the way.
Yeah.
Check me
Yeah, I
out.
heard that one before.
I know.
I'm striking like a Vogue pose, holding my headset together. All right, keep talking.
All right. So, how about this new id technology? How about that? Let's talk about id Tech 5, shall we?
Wackiness.
Shall we?
Let's riff on that. John Carmack, what's his title over at id?
Rocket ship pilot.
Pimp.
Right. Head geek over at id unveiled their new technology, their new engine, and they did it significantly at the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference, which was a week ago, last Monday. And whatever we want to say about the id Tech, actually, I don't think any of us have seen it running except on the YouTube video.
Oh yeah, I saw the video.
We're going to get a personal demo of it at E3 in July, but for now, we just have that to go on. But that was put in the broader context of Apple supposedly getting back into gaming.
And also, EA's announcement that they will be bringing Battlefield 2142 as well as Command and Conquer and a few other prominent games
to
the Mac platform.
But the thing is, they aren't actually like rewriting the code or anything like that. Basically, they're inserting something called Cider X, which is basically a little wrapper that basically ports over the PC code into Mac.
Well, yeah. Once they went Intel, it I think theoretically became way easier to do that.
So the question is, one, does this matter? Does anyone care that EA is doing this, and that id showed their new technology on Mac first? And two, is Apple really getting into gaming again? And if they are, does that matter?
Well, I think. Well, actually, a part of that conference was that Carmack was saying that it's not. I mean, they kind of did that with Mac to prove a point, but like Carmack said there that it's gonna make coding easier for games to come to every platform. He wasn't saying specifically like, oh, we're just doing this for the Mac.
Right.
So I mean, id Tech 5 game, whatever the heck it is, could conceivably come out on every platform at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just it's not like, hey, it's next game exclusively on Mac, but just the greater question of if we'll see more and more games available on Mac, and clearly, Blizzard does that and everything as is. But just will we see a point where there is an increasingly large contingent of gamers on Mac, and then we get to the problem of what do you call them? They're not PC gamers, but they're playing exactly the same games.
You know what?
We can't call them games for Windows, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
And we won't be covering them.
For me, it became almost a moot point once they let you dual boot on a Mac. So
on a
because if you're going to buy a Mac, the reason isn't because of the games. Obviously, you're really into graphic design, you're really into OS 10, or you're really into stability or whatever.
But the funny thing is, back in the day, that's why you bought an Apple, to play the games. I mean, that's why I bought an Apple way back in the day.
But that's long gone now.
Yeah, but I think that the big question is, let's say if I do get Battlefield 2142 running on the machine and they need this Cider X app to get the PC game running on a Mac, if it affects the performance at all, I'd be kind of interested to see what it does. But other than that, I mean, this whole announcement was basically yet another time that Steve Jobs is being like the P.T. Barnum of technology, showing off, every stuff that can be done right now. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a bigger deal than it really is. But
Jeff, your perspective on it, I was interested to find because you're definitely not just. I mean, even though you are a spokesman for Games for Windows and stuff, you're definitely not just the type to pass off the competition just because. Or a competitive platform. And the fact that all of us here, we game on consoles and on handhelds, on anything that's got games, But it was interesting to hear your perspective as someone who had been in the business for a long time, but also someone that worked specifically with Macs and on that platform. And you were like, historically, there's some stuff you should know about before you get all excited or jump to conclusions.
Well, my feeling was, and I thank you for actually putting that disclaimer in because it could be read that way. I'm not hating on it because our magazine is now affiliated with Microsoft. Mm-hmm. I should say, actually, I used to be a big Mac lover. Actually, we have 2 Macs in our house. I love to death my iPod.
We're producing this podcast on a MacBook.
Well, we actually design our magazine on Mac. So I have a Mac at my desk along with my PC. So, let's just say that to get that out of the way. But prior to working at what used to be called Computer Gaming World, I worked at Mac Week magazine, which is a now defunct Macintosh business magazine. So that was actually serious work before all this stuff. And over the years, as Darren implied, boy, the sound is really kind of goofy here.
It's probably me rustling because I have to keep manipulating this wire to hear anything.
Sounds fine where it matters. But
yeah, it sounds fine to me.
All right. They